2, 1.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Problematic Sticker Anime Podcast. The podcast that, guess what, is about anime, which is sometimes problematic, thus requiring a sticker to go on it, so you know that it's probably not a good thing to show to your children, unless you're some sort of deviant parent like Garri.
Whoa!
So...
You shouldn't be a parent.
Oh.
Wow. So now, having set the tone for this podcast, I will now introduce everyone, including myself. I am your host, Neil Bolt, and I am joined, as ever, by Ben Shillabeer-Hall.
I'm always here.
He's
Forever.
always there, forever. He's the ghost of podcast, future, past, present, and X-Men Days of Future Past.
You can say he has been Shilla here.
He's Shilla Hella here. One of them.
Shilla be here.
Shillabeer. No, he sounds like Shia LaBeouf, which is a whole different kettle of fish. Joining us also there is Tim, Blue Noon. We'll call him for this one.
There's a song. I get a song. Oh, I thought we were doing the Elvis thing.
That's right. It still counts. It all counts.
Does this Chris say you've got a pee in my heart?
Yes.
Very specific kinks here.
That's not what the ventricle is for. Does that need a slap at all, or?
Nah, we're in the intro stage. We don't do slaps yet. Oh,
That sounds like a challenge to me. Yeah. That sounds like a challenge to me. We'll see. Don't challenge Chris like that, you know.
Well, I set the tone by saying we do slaps, blah blah blah. You know, that's fine. But if we did it for every damn thing, Christ, yeah, we'd be here all week, and it would start sounding like the fucking Macarena after a while.
Hey, Macarena.
Also,
All right.
also joining us is I have to remember who I haven't introduced now. Chris DeVisser. He is also
Yes.
How could I forget the Duke of Debauchery himself?
Thank you. That's I've never been bestowed upon such a grandeur title, so I appreciate it. Thanks.
Being English, I am obviously royal, therefore able to give you such title.
And as I said, posh as shit. So
yeah,
sweet.
Posh as shit.
Isn't that a Spice Girl?
You don't make fun of posh.
That's posh.
Bitch.
That's posh.
You
as
bitch. How
Neil
dare you.
is posh.
Yeah.
Neil is posh spice.
I am sitting here in a vest and shorts that are very, very tight. So no, I am not very posh.
Oh my god.
Please, voice like.
Sorry, it didn't happen.
Yeah, tell me more about this.
Hey, I'm not sure.
Ooh.
I ain't showing you my voice maker. That's for
He'll
sure.
tell you what he wants, what he really, really wants.
Yes.
Zig-zag, huh?
You know, normally I would, but my hair is currently so floppy, it's unbelievable. So no.
Alright, so
That's the only
you're
floppy
male
guy
being
here.
then.
That's not the only floppy thing.
How could it be when we're having such conversations? No chance. Also joining us is Garri Bagdasarov.
Sup, yo?
Yes. I have no title for you, I'm afraid.
Yeah, you do.
Nope, don't use
You
it.
gave it to me earlier.
Well,
Oh my.
Yes, yes,
Go on now.
do it.
just don't do the banter, Chris says. We'll definitely get through this really quickly. What's gonna happen? Let's be honest. Also joining us, our regular, it is Klaus Knightbringer. I don't need to give him any title because look at that. Look at that name.
The bringer of the night. What's up, everybody?
Splendido.
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? Don't mac on my man. I'm not sure who I'm talking to.
He's just whipping it blind out there.
Look at that. Look at him clear that fence. Didn't even scrape his junk. Come on, let it be naked.
Oh my god.
I want to be naked. Dude, pop culture references, man. Yep.
Oh, we're not done though. Come on, we're not done. There are more people to introduce. More. That's people, plural, because there are two more people. That's right, a lot of people on this week's podcast. We have, of course, Alfonso Murdering Boxill.
How? Wait, hold on.
Yes!
Come on, no, it's a legend. It's just a legend.
Oh, sorry, yeah. There is an asterisk next to that somewhere, I promise. That is just a working title, if you will.
Neil, you
Yeah,
went
he's
too
number
far.
one.
You went too
You-
far.
You just went down the list.
That's right. Well, we'll get to that in a minute when we've finished the introduction, so we'll get to Alfonso's story for this week. But joining us, it's been a long time since we've had this man on any of our podcasts, and that's a shame. And yet here he is in the horrible, humid heat of Japan right now. He is up early in the morning on his balcony to talk to us right now. It is Ernest Lin. How are you talking? How are you, Ernest? How are you?
Ohayou Minasan, genki desu ka? I am
Nani?
so hot. Nanda.
You are now that you mention it.
I'm actually not on my balcony.
Oh, sorry. I was.
I am in Akihabara, Tokyo, appropriately enough, sitting outside the UDX building, looking like some otaku vagrant. Just
Oh, that's it. There you go. There's your title. There's your title right there.
Hobo taku.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yes.
Everything you just said was awesome. I don't see
Splendid.
The UDX building as seen in like Steins Gate and Low Life and a bunch of other anime.
You are pretty much channeling pure anime right now.
Yeah, I'm just bringing in importing the anime.
So there you go.
feels.
We are now 600% more anime than any other podcast out there right now.
Right. Yeah, like
That's it.
certified anime. Like you
That's
can,
So,
you can throw on
We're
that.
like 600% anime finally. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, saw this.
It's appropriate because you always have to overpower in these things, so it makes sense that you would be 600%.
Right. It's all escalation.
Yeah, it's like 100%. Fuck that. That's just base level. You want to go well beyond that, and 600 is reasonable. That's like Krillin. In this universe, we're at Krillin level now, so we can aim higher. So.
Sensitive!
Or
At least
one,
for Gary.
yeah, or
At
one
least for Gary,
million
it's
percent
not.
Detroit.
So, first off, I suppose we have to do it. Alfonso, story of the week time.
Okay, story of the week. Before I get into it, I just want to catch Ernest up to speed on so he doesn't feel confused.
Right. And also, like, any new listeners.
Yeah. So, just for the sake of brevity, the cliff notes on this one, please. That's definitely the short version.
Yeah. Abridged
Yeah.
version.
So basically, I have a girlfriend who likes to torture me a lot, and she feels it's because of these guys that we talk to, but she likes some of them, and she doesn't like. She likes some, she doesn't like some. So she numbered them in a certain order from greatest to least. So that order was Ben was first, Neil, Tim was second, Neil was third, Klaus was fourth, Garri and Chris was 5 because they're a dual set in terms of her.
So podcast power rankings. Got it.
Yes.
Yep.
I want to call it that way. So last week I was in a situation where I got electrocuted twice based off of her, and at the end of the podcast, me, Neil, Garri, and Ben had to talk about how it's going too far. The relationship is not supposed to be like that. Yeah, I need to work some stuff out. So when I told her this, she was touched by what Neil said. Now you know where this is coming. You know what's coming next. So I tell her, what are you about to do? What are you saying? I'm saying temporarily the order has to change. I'm like, no, don't do this. Don't do this. I'm sorry, but it has to be done. So Neil is now number 1.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And when I heard that, I was gonna say, I thought to myself, Ben is gonna say no, Neil's gonna say why, and Gary's gonna say what the fuck, because I was on that podcast too, and I was talking on phone too.
This is like the most truthful thing ever. What the fuck?
I'll be honest, I was sat here most of the time trying to edit the podcast, so congratulations, Neil.
So I said, wait, hold on. Gary was there too. Gary was helping me. So she said what Gary said. I was about to lie because Gary didn't say much. And she said, because I know you about to lie, just tell the truth. All right, so I told her, Gary said that he's here for me if I need to talk. That's it. That's all he said. But I asked her, what if Gary did say more? Does that mean he would have been number one as well? Mind you, Chris would have been number one as well because they're set. He said you're right, but since Chris wasn't there, and if Gary did say more, then Gary would have got a 0.5. Like half. You only be one. I said, that's some fucked up shit. That's not right. But then it has to come over with Neil, and the British accent. I said, oh, God, what the fuck is with you in this British accent?
It's a fetish, man.
And then she was like,
Everybody said that.
0.5 is before 1 technically, but we all know 0 don't got no value. No one starts a group with 0. They always start with 1.
Metal Gear Solid, just saying.
This is some fucked up shit. You know what? I'm going home. I'm going home. I went home. I was so angry with this whole Now I don't know if this is permanent, if this is temporary. I don't know. So the new order is Neil is 1, Tim is 2, Ben is now 3 because she don't want the British next to each other. Klaus is 4, and Gary and Chris is still 5. So yeah, that's the story.
Tim, you're the moist maker in this one.
Yeah. I just don't get why you wouldn't want to touch British, though. I guess I get to be in the British sandwich.
I'm just ecstatic that once again in life I have drugged Gary down with me. Can I just say how happy I am right now that this is working so well in my
This is
game?
happy?
And then there's me separating the two sides.
What's wrong with you? I need love. I deserve to be loved too.
You're stuck with me, Gary. Sorry.
Well, you are like the pimple on my butt. I don't want you.
Gary, the thing we need to remember from last night.
I think we broke Tim.
That's not me. I'm not the hysterical one this time.
That's
Oh,
Chris.
wow.
That's Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually hysterical, but not mine.
It's fine, Chris is just looking at a ladder right now. He can't work out after that.
Oh, Ernest, I'm really glad you joined us for this.
Yeah.
Problematic sticker.
Yeah, if you went awake before, that'll do it. I'd say that's for sure.
Oh my god.
I would say that's probably my second favourite Alfonso story.
That's up there. The knife one still wins, I think.
Yeah,
just
the
because.
one with the knife was the best.
I figured you wouldn't like that one because you kept protesting that he didn't do the right thing with the knife.
Yeah, but someone replied on Twitter saying that's why they followed us because of that story. So,
The knife.
just like as an excuse goes, that was the best excuse ever. So like, great, yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, let's actually move into anime. Not that this kind of drama isn't found in most anime things. To be fair, not quite so. Yeah, not this, but close enough. Gary, I want news. And I want it to be super. So
You
give
want
me.
super news?
I want fucking
Give
super
you
news.
super
Give me
news.
that.
All right. So for those who know, the podcast started with Dragon Ball Super. It was the Dragon Ball Super podcast. So that ended. So we moved to the anime podcast. But now Super's coming back in the form of a new movie. It is coming out this December in Japan. And in January in the rest of the world.
Well,
what's
that
up?
might be released before then, but it'll probably be subtitled.
Yeah, probably. But the English dub is coming in January. And it is Dragon Ball Super Brawly. Brawly is now officially going to be canon in Dragon Ball universe. Interesting. Very interesting. It's not the same Brawly. He's getting a redesign. How big of a redesign, it's still kind of unknown. Image did leak a little bit, so he's still going to have his kind of greenish golden hair hue that he has.
Yeah.
But from what it looks like, his outfit is going to be kind of the same, just a different color. Just two different colors. Before it was like white and like magenta. Now it's going to be, I think, some other guy. I had the picture, and now I lost it. Oh, damn it. But yes, Brawly. Brawly is going to be coming back. He's going to be canon. Akira Toriyama is designing him, doing the story and everything. What do you guys think of Brawly becoming canon now?
At last.
Yes.
I didn't get any of that except yes.
Ernest, let Ernest go.
Okay, Ernest.
I mean, it's cool. I think most people are happy with it. In the official message for Toriyama, which I pulled up here, one reason why they're doing this is so he says so about Brawly. I hear these days he's still very popular, not only in Japan but also overseas. Based on that, my editor suggested we have Brawly appear in the next movie. So fan demand, I guess, is the big cause for this.
That's it. Splendid. Any other words, peoples?
Oh, I can't wait. I really can't. I'm going to go see it live. I'm going to go to cinema like I did with Resurrection of F.
I want to go see them draw it live.
Or it's just like a black, dark stage, and the dub voice actor sitting there doing like a live reading.
Waiting for the
and then trying to
like screen.
And then they're trying to mime all the actions and like fights.
Sean Shamel has to be wearing Goku's outfit though, with the hair done like it. He can still keep the glasses on, but he's got to be wearing the Kai outfit. That's how it works.
And if we want to take it further, we'll strap some of them onto wires so they can be like kind of floating throughout the audience. Overhead. Why isn't Dragon Ball the live arena experience not been done yet?
Seriously, if we can get Spider-Man the musical Broadway, we can get Dragon Ball the Broadway show.
Yeah, let's get on Reddit and make this happen.
I want a musical now, please.
Yes.
What about you, Fonzie? You have been a critic of Brawly and particularly Kale, who was originally the Brawly of Super.
Which I'm happy that they make him Brawly canon because that would help me erase that image of Kale because you already know how I feel about her.
Oh, dude, don't do this to me, Fonzie.
I'm sorry. Do I love you? You know I love you very much. I don't like Kale. I hate him.
You wouldn't pay money to see Brawly and Kale go at it in Berserk form?
Oh, that's not phrasing.
Yes.
Go at it.
I would pay so much money to see that.
Hammer and tongs.
Wow, so we can both hear them say, oh, who hates Goku more? No, thank you.
Yeah, Goku will be in the middle and they'll be like, oh shit.
Goku!
Guys, stop fighting over me.
Yes, Goku could finally use some stupid person who's get rescued.
By the way, I don't know exactly where this is, but Japan already has a 4D Broly movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be in IMAX and then also 4D. So I'm kind of
That was
tempted to
4D.
So 4D is when you go to Universal Studios, you got those short films for Shrek, and there's moving chairs and Mist and maybe Sense and all these other just gimmicks. That's 4D.
Okay.
Yeah, and Broly will be in God
I want to know how it feels like to get hit by Brawly in the face.
What you're going to do is you're going to sit in his lap, and then it's going to vibrate and move to give you the full immersive experience.
Knock you into the back of the room.
But no, Broly's gonna go to...
Before you start, we have to put this bungee on you. What for? You'll see. We'll putting this bungee on you.
I'll just wait.
And sign here. This waiver, we're not liable for anything.
It's all about authenticity. We don't want to pad the walls either.
Let it never be said that anime isn't a thing of culture and class. That's for sure, or at least the way we talk about it.
There was some more news about the movie though that I kind of want to get into really quickly.
Can I finish what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yes, go ahead. I'm
In
sorry.
the 4D movie, Broly goes God form. So yeah, he goes Super Saiyan Blue.
Oh my.
In this new movie that's coming out?
Blue.
No, in the 4D movie.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, from what we experienced in Super, like Kale being the legendary Super Saiyan, like she was able to contend, throw Goku around for a while when he was Super Saiyan Blue. So like, legendary Super Saiyan when
God
Blue,
form of legendary. It's called
that'd be
legendary.
insane.
Legendary
That would
God
be-
Super Saiyan.
But that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's not canon though, is it?
Yeah, it's canon.
The 4D stuff?
No, the 4D stuff. Is
Yeah, because there's no way Broly would go Super Saiyan Blue because he's just angry. He has no pure goodness.
I gotta tell you though, if I get bungeed into the back of a room, it's definitely gonna be canon. In two forms of the word.
The problem is what happened to your cannon.
Oh my god. No, so god damn it. No, the other info is we know his dad is gonna be in there. Where is it? Paradis?
Yeah, Paragus. Well, we don't know if his dad's in it or if the voice actor
Yeah, they
plays
do.
someone else.
No, he's gonna be in it.
Yeah, they confirmed it.
Yeah.
I knew the voice actor was confirmed, but I wasn't sure if the character was.
No, he's definitely confirmed. We also got the info that the Frieza Force is gonna play a big role, so Frieza is definitely coming back. And we also know that big secrets about the destruction of Planet Vegeta will be revealed. And I talked a little bit about Ben, or with Ben and Tim about it. I am very confident in this movie that Goku and Vegeta will finally find out that it was Beerus who ordered the destruction of Planet Vegeta. And that's going to lead to, in my opinion, Beerus kind of becoming the main villain of whatever comes next for Super. And Frieza essentially pulling the strings in order to take Beerus' place as the next god of destruction for his universe.
Yeah, not a bad shout.
Interesting.
Yeah, the only thing I think about that is I don't think Vegeta cares as much now. But I still think he'll get angry, but I don't think it's as bad as he was when he was first got to Earth.
Yeah, that's what having a wife and kids.
Yeah.
What the kid does to you, right?
Make you go Majin, maybe.
Speaking from experience, yes, I care very little about what happened to my home planet now after I've had a wife.
Yeah.
Once you're domesticated, you're just like, it's in the past.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I'd rather play some Far Cry and watch some anime. There you go.
It's like, you can nuke the fucker from orbit. I don't give a shit.
I feel like he's calmed down a bit more. I think there'll still be a thing between him and Beerus, but I don't think they'll try and kill him. They'll beat him down, to get revenge, and then something will happen. I don't know.
And they'll tell him, "Don't you do that again."
Yeah.
I do think it's gonna play a big role though. Why would they not have revealed this by now? Why still keep it a secret? And I think it's gonna have something to do with Broly and his dad, and whether they reveal what happened or what, I don't know. Beerus and Whis are confirmed to be in the movie as well, so I hope, my hope for this movie is at the end of it, I don't want to see Goku one-shot Broly like he one-shots everybody in all the movies.
Jiren turns up and one-shot Broly.
I hope in this movie I get to see Broly go toe-to-toe with Beerus. And actually pose a threat to him.
All I know is I still want my spin-off with Gohan dressed as the Saiyaman and in Universe 6 teaming up with a crossover like with the Pride Troopers. That's all I want. That's all I want in life.
But yeah, so that's coming. Brawley's canon now, and
Well, either that or it's a mixed translation and it's secretly Yamcha.
oh my
Because it
god,
looks like Yamcha.
Right, so moving swiftly on from that's before we go into some serious.
Life also moves swiftly on with Yamcha.
Yes. Of course, we now go to our regularly scheduled part of the podcast, which is where we talk about the weekly animes of choice that we have been doing. Last week, of course, My Hero wasn't there and Boruto was, and now we have a switcheroo, and there is no Boruto, but there is My Hero Academia. So, to talk us through that is a bunch of people who watched it. I am not one of them.
and one who refused to watch it.
Yeah, so, Klaus, you are the sultry tones I want to hear, first and foremost, to lead us through this section of the podcast.
Oh my!
So yes, go.
How can I turn down that offer?
How can you? I mean, it's there.
No usually does the trick.
No. You've told me it doesn't work in your case, Garri. You confided this in me.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Yes.
so this week, like I said, we had a week off of My Hero, and it comes back with a really good episode. All the students have moved into their new dorms and are kind of acclimating to dorm life. And just before the new semester is about to start, they're all gathered together in the classroom, and they're continuing on to trying to get their provisional licenses to be professional heroes. Part of that, their training was interrupted. In the last few episodes, but what they were trying to train for was their ability to create an ultimate move. So now, that's what they're going to start doing. And I thought that the premise of that was really cool. What do you guys think of that?
Yes, very interesting seeing them at that age come up with moves. We only really see All Might with it when he was still a hero. Not the other heroes, so it's interesting to see, the students make their moves now.
And the thought process that they have to put into creating something that is signature to them. Because as they were explaining what the ultimate moves are, it's not always necessarily going to be a fighting finisher, but something that is unique to their hero type. I mean, one of the examples they gave was for Kamui Tree Guy. I'm sorry, I'm bad with the name.
Kamui Woods.
Thank you. One of his signature ultimate moves was that tree prison that he did to basically tie up all of the villains when they were doing that infiltration, or when they were trying to stop everybody at the bar. So that would be what they would consider an ultimate move. So now all of the students have to try and figure out what they can do with their powers and come up with an ultimate move. And they brought in a few pro heroes to help out. One of them is the guy who can make multiple copies of himself.
Ectoplasm.
Thank you. And the guy who can do all of the stuff with concrete.
No one knows like a spaceman?
No, that's number 13.
Yeah, it's 13.
Okay. My bad.
Isn't his name just Concrete?
I can't recall. I'm terrible with names.
Honestly.
But he basically created these little areas for them to work on this, and Ectoplasm created doubles for each of them to fight up against to work on their quirks and figure out their moves. So it's at that point we start to see some of the progress of everybody, and unsurprisingly, Bakugo is just excelling at this. Some of the moves that he's coming up with, I mean, he's coming with multiple moves that would be considered, ultimate finishers, and it's just astounding to see what he's doing.
He was the first one to beat a clone of Ectoplasm, too.
I like his armor piercing move, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
There were some really cool things like the girl who can shoot acid from her hands. Ectoplasm worked with, Ectoplasm worked with her to try and create a stream for that, to make it shoot out. That was kind of interesting. And then, of course, Midoriya is always having a lot of issues, being he's still new to his quirk.
Such a great episode.
It was really good.
Also, they also discussed that in order to improve on their ultimate attack, they should go to the lab to redesign their suits to help what they said about it.
It's
the product development group.
Yeah.
Yep. Hosted by Bulldozer and Mei Hatsume.
Yeah, well, she's just the first year that refuses to leave and just is insane. You guys may remember her from the sports festival where she went up against Ida, basically, but they ended up being a whole infomercial for all of her gear.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She's like bae now.
That was
I love smart women in the series. I love the intelligent, like really powerhouse women, and she's like they're turning her into a very, very awesome and interesting character.
She's very smart and funny.
Exactly. I'm really interested to learn more about her. I'm hoping to learn more about some of the other teachers as well. Especially Ectoplasm. Now that he's kind of, once again, they're kind of pushing him to more of the forefront since he's educating these guys. So I'm hoping we'll get more insight to the teachers. Shout outs to All Might for stepping up and trying to be a better teacher in this too. He makes an appearance when the kids start training, and he tries to. He's been. I love the scene. Because he's been, he comes up and he's like, Midoriya, stop trying to imitate me, and then walks away, and he looks back and, he says in his head, I can't, it can't be called teaching if I just give you the answer. Come on, Midoriya, figure it out. And then Aizawa was like, wow, what is he doing here? He's like actually taking an interest in teaching, and then in his back, All Might's back pocket is like a teaching for dummies.
that was
The
amazing.
yellow tabs. It was so endearing of his character because that's the kind of character he is he's going to go all out into whatever he's doing. Since he can't be the symbol piece anymore, he's doing everything he can to be the best teacher he can be to Midoriya and all of the students. So, I like that we're seeing character growth with All Might and what he's putting himself through to make sure that Midoriya doesn't have to damage himself anymore.
Yeah, he's way out of his comfort zone right now, being no longer being the #1 hero.
Yeah.
So,
but like you said, he is jumping into his role as a teacher with both feet, even though he can't provide any physical assistance. Like I said, he's going to try and drive them in the right direction. And I think I'm liking where this is going.
So, during the end of the episode, Midoriya realized what he needs to do different to stop imitating All Might. And when he went back to the training field, All Might was almost about to get hit with a rock, and then out of nowhere, he saw Midoriya using his power in his legs instead of his arms, which I feel that's a different twist, and I like where they're going with that.
He's going to break his legs now.
It's still there. The possibility, because we've seen him break his legs in that first entrance exam when he jumped up all high. He smashed both of his legs, so it's not like he can be immune now to it.
He is getting better at controlling the amount of power he's putting into different parts of his body. And if you noticed, he also had not only those braces for his arms to try and help to absorb some of the shock that his tendons would take, but he also had new boots.
Yes, those were badass. These big ass solid black boots. Midoriya's gonna become Sanji from One Piece now. Is what's gonna happen. He's gonna be like the fear death leg hero, and he's just gonna be spinning on his hands, whooping every. I love it. I love kickers in fighting. In all the fighting movies that I watch, my favorite characters are always the kickers. Like in Kung Fu Hustle, the dude who was the kicker, or Bloodsport, obviously. And I love where they're going with this because they're bringing Midoriya now into his own power, and I just love they're screaming this at you and Midoriya, and you're screaming at the TV this entire episode, just like it's right there, it's right there in front of you, and then at the end when he finally figures it out, that's the reason I'm really looking forward to more time with Ectoplasm. Because Ectoplasm, he's right there. That's what All Might was looking at. He's like, Ectoplasm fights with his legs. That's how he fights. And Midoriya's standing right in front of him, and he couldn't, I guess I could fight with my legs. So now I'm really hoping we'll get some more development on that, because I'm really interested to see how Ectoplasm, if there's that interaction where he teaches him how to fight with his feet, how to basically become this completely different fighter, his own hero, with his own special abilities, and I'm really digging where this is going. And can I just say that was so adorable? I got teary-eyed when Midoriya, at that end, Alfonso, that you described, where he's in the air, and All Might just looks up and he just smiles, and that's no longer little Izuku Midoriya that he decided to pass his power down onto. He's now seeing his protege starting to come into his own, and just I got teary-eyed. I did. It's just such a special, endearing moment between the two that was just.
You're not the only one.
Oh my god. I'm glad to know because I was just like, oh my god, this is so amazing. I gotta go eat a sandwich. This is awful.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
I'm not crying. Why? Somebody's cutting onions.
Why do you have to eat a sandwich?
I had a sandwich after. It was good.
But why would you need to eat a sandwich, Garri?
Because he was. That's the last thing that goes to my head if I'm teary-eyed.
Well, I come for eat. That's the issue. I come for eat. Can I say something really quick too? We also got a new intro song.
And new outro as well.
And new outro. Yeah, the intro is from. If some of you have caught it, I hope. Especially you, Neil. I was hoping you did. From a band called Lenny Code Fiction. You may know them from the theme song performances of D. Gray Man Hollow, if you know that series, or as Neil watched, All Out. They performed the opening theme song to them. So
yeah.
Is it still 7 minutes long and takes up half the show?
Yes, it is, and it is awesome. I highly suggest you go and listen to it.
Oh, so you're watching because I skipped it
like the last. Well, no, honestly, like the last opening, I know you hated it for its length, but I just thought it was such a goddamn great song. It's called Odd Future by Overworld, and I absolutely loved last season.
I have nothing against their opening. I think they have some of the best openings and closings of any anime I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
but it's too fucking long. That's the problem I have with it. It takes up half of the show.
It's not. It's like 3 minutes. It's like 3 minutes, maybe 4 max. You want long, go watch a One Piece episode. That shit's like 5 minutes.
What, the show or the intro?
Yes.
Balls stretched.
It was just amazing. I think it's on these last maybe 10 episodes have been some of the best. Not just episodes for one My Hero Academia. My God, One Punch Man. There's one that can't come soon enough. My Hero Academia, not just of My Hero Academia, but in anime in general, My Hero Academia has done a great job of really getting me invested in these characters. So, kudos to the My Hero team. You guys are fucking doing awesome. Keep it up.
Splendido. So, that's that for that. Ernest is here, of course, and he has seen something that no one else has.
Oh boy, have I seen
things.
That's saying something.
This is Japan, so it could be anything.
It could
That's true.
But unfortunately, it's not quite as spicy as you might think. It is the new Pokemon movie.
Right.
It's just come out over there, hasn't it? So
Yep, just on Friday.
Yeah, so talk to us a little bit about that. Is this the Mewtwo one?
No, so that's the next one.
That's the next one. Okay.
That's the next one. Yeah. So this one is called Pokemon Everyone's Story. And I guess it's like a very loose kind of remake of Pokemon the movie 2000. In that it has like Lugia and some like legend associated with Lugia. But like pretty much everything else is like different. So it's much different from the Pokemon the movie 2000.
Is there Slowking? I need to know. Is there Slowking in this one?
I guess spoilers? There's no Slowking. It is very
that was the best part of the 2001 was Slowking. All right.
Well,
sorry to interrupt. Continue.
Sorry to disappoint. So I don't know if any of you have seen the trailer for this one, but it caught a lot of people's attention because of how like pretty it looks, and part of that is because one of the production studios on it is Wit Studio, which is known. They've worked on Ancient Magus Bride, Cabaneri, and of course, most famously, Attack on Titan. So this is a pretty good looking Pokemon movie.
Is it Attack on Pokemon?
Oh my God!
It is not Attack on Pokemon.
Yes.
It is not.
Yes. Oh my God.
But you definitely see like there are shots where it's just like, oh yeah, this is definitely done by Attack on Titan Studio. And what I'm referring to are like those sort of like those thrilling longer shots that you get where like a character is moving forward really fast, and then you've got like the camera kind of like going around them and like following them through the shots. So when you see that, you're just like, oh yeah, like that's very Attack on Titan, and those are really cool. So I guess to describe the basic plot of the movie, Ash and only Ash, and Pikachu. Oh, also Pikachu. They go to this city called Furrow City for the Wind Festival. The city is, I think they kind of take inspiration from San Francisco. It's a city on a hill, and they've got like cable cars and stuff. It's got kind of that architecture of the like houses really close together, like you see in San Francisco. And the Wind Festival on the last day, Lugia always shows up to bring wind to the city. So the city's, I guess, like sort of motif is wind, and they have a bunch of windmills and to power the city. So you've got Ash, and then a bunch of other characters, new characters, are introduced. In fact, I think I would say, yeah, most of the cast is new. You have this girl named Lisa, who's in high school, and she's new to Pokemon, and she ends up catching an Eevee, and so her partner's Eevee.
Yay!
Yeah. And then you've got a really young girl named Largo, who's the daughter of the mayor of the city. You've got this old lady who seems to not like Pokemon. Her name's Hisui. I'm sure that'll be changed in the dub.
Does she die? Because she should.
Wow.
No. And then you got a bunch of other like side characters. I don't want to keep it spoiler free, so I can't go too in depth. But overall, it was really good. It was sweet. It was good, wholesome family fun. I mean, what else can you expect from a Pokemon movie? Good pacing. I feel like some of the past Pokemon movies felt really short or went by really fast, or just had moments where it's like, oh, this is a drag, and then sort of like rush into other parts.
Is there like a conflict in this movie, or is it just like a good feel?
There is a conflict. Because of course I forgot. Of course, returning is Team Rocket.
Yes.
So they do, yeah. So Team Rocket, they do some shenanigans that kind of causes this like wide. I don't think yeah, it's kind of like not. It wasn't like totally planned by them, but of course Team Rocket. It causes like a citywide panic. And so they need to like get things done. And each character has to like do their parts, and it all comes together. And it's sweet. Yes. So I don't know when specifically that's coming stateside in the West, but pretty soon, I'm sure.
It won't take long, probably. They also prepared the first movie, not the first movie, but the first movie, the remake for free last year on their website.
Nice. Cool.
It showed up on TV as well very quickly after it came out.
So does that mean Meowth returns as well?
Meowth is in there. Wobbuffet is in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the like kind of I guess timeline for it is around like Pokemon the movie 2000 and also like the adventures of on the Orange Islands. Yeah. So most of the Pokemon are Gen 1 and Gen 2 that you see.
Yes.
Almost all of them are Gen 1, Gen 2. Yeah. Yep. That's pretty much the lowdown.
I can't wait to see it. I like the last one. It was really good. You talk about the art style, but even the first movie, well, the first reboot movie, that had pretty decent art style, to be honest, as well.
I thought that looked good too. Yeah.
Even Sun and Moon, the series, is a nice change in art style that worked nicely as well.
Yeah, a lot of people complain about Sun and Moon at first, but I do like the new art style and specifically the animation. Like they've kind of let themselves be more free.
Yeah.
More abstract and like crazy like animations and especially like emotional reactions and stuff. Like it's really cool.
It feels more in keeping with your most weekly animes in terms of style. It's where it doesn't feel like syndicated Saturday morning TV show, which it did for a lot of the earlier series. Yeah,
right.
And they've definitely moved towards that, I found as well, because before that they did. It was again improving slightly, but yeah, they're getting there. Yeah. Just looking at trailers for this one, it does look very stylish. It's definitely one to look for. Who'd have thought it? Pokemon still rocking it.
Still around.
Still got it.
Still right. It'd probably be one of the best selling games. Probably be one of the best selling games again.
Over 20. It'll go pretty soon here.
And now that Funko Pop finally got the license, that's like 500 more pops for you to buy.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Okay, I personally don't like Funko Pops, and I think the Pikachu one looks terrifying.
What?
It's
adorable, man.
No, it's so.
It has dead eyes. It's gonna eat my soul.
It is fucking. It is Deadite Pikachu. That is it.
Pikachu has black eyes. What do you expect?
All right, so Pikachu.
You say Deadeye Pikachu, and now I just want a little cowboy hat and a little sheriff star and a little 6-shooter for him. That's what I want for Deadeye Pikachu.
I said Deadite, not Deadeye, but yes.
I guess. For if you do go see it, there is a post-credits sequence. So stay after the credits. And then I didn't know about the next movie being Mewtwo. So after the post-credits sequence, then there's like the teaser for the Mewtwo remake.
So what you're saying is the
and so I was like, oh, sweet.
Universe.
That's what I've been kind of like referring it to it. It's kind of like because. It's like, where does it fit? I mean, I'm not huge into the Pokemon anime canon, but like, how does this fit? Like, it feels, it's especially this one is so different from Pokemon movie 2000. Like, where does this fit? Is this like retconning or like replacing Pokemon?
It doesn't.
I don't think so.
everything seems to be sort of be a reboot at this point.
Right. It seems like it's its own, like, basically its own cinematic universe. Like, this is the movie version of these things.
The Pokemon games out this year are a reboot as well. You know, they go back.
Right. Yeah. Those are like, those are remake.
Yeah, so that's it. I think that they realise they've got a new audience. I think, and they're like, well, yeah, we've done all this, but.
I think it's a combination of like new audience and also for like kind of people like me, like older fans that have not been able to keep up at all with the Pokemon anime, where it's like, oh, this is like you can go into it not having kept up with anything. It's pretty standalone. You can have a good time.
I just didn't keep up with it because the new Pokemon suck, in my opinion.
So you don't like Billy?
Agree to disagree.
What about Trubbish?
Who?
The trash bag Pokemon.
Oh my god! You just answered your own question, man.
Oh yeah, it's Primer. A Pokemon that's made from sewer waste is just as good.
Oh my god.
Right. Okay. So yes, that was good. Thank you, Ernest.
Wait, before we go on.
What I guess one last thing is I don't know if this footage has been shown anywhere, but right before the movie they had a little like video message from Rob Letterman, who's the director of the upcoming live-action Detective Pikachu movie. And had like a glimpse of like the set, which just looked like it didn't have Pikachu on it. It looked like an everyday, real like kind of location. But he's just like, oh, hello Japan. Like, look forward to the Detective Pikachu movie. Yeah.
I'm still disappointed that Pikachu won't be voiced by Danny DeVito.
I was about to bring that up. I'm still bummed about that. He would have been perfect.
While we're talking about Pokemon quickly, Pokemon Go, the next mini day will be 2 days instead of 1.
Who's looking forward to Shiny Eevee?
Yeah, Shiny Eevee.
Eevee!
And all the evolutions.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen how Eevee's Japanese name is spelled?
No.
How at least how in like Romanized English they spell it E-I-E-V-U-I. So it's like Eevee.
That's mad.
All I know is I've seen the beta versions of Gold and Silver, and I want most of those things to be real, like the fat Pichu. It's amazing.
Right then, we are on to the main event of this very podcast, which is our anime book club. I'm doing air quotes here, you can't see them. As we so labelled it. Basically, someone chooses each week an anime, new, old, whatever, or slightly homosexual, in my case. And
yes.
Yeah, what? Why are you wooing it?
I don't think I'll be on next week.
Missing out.
Continue, please.
Yeah, sorry, you sit there not being comfortable with your own sexuality. It's fine.
Oh my
I look forward to Neil's anime.
I do it just to upset Tim. I like it.
That's not fair. That's just not fair. Cool. So, last week was Alfonso's choice. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
It was. So, I'll do the little explanation on this one. It was Sword Guy. You know, that Sword Guy. The animation. So, a quick synopsis of this one is... a woman died a suspicious death in the forest. Beside her, the swordsmith Amon finds a newborn boy with a tragic fate. Well, yeah, because, you know, someone just died. And takes him in. About 10 years later, the boy, who is named Guy, of course, that guy, and who has become Amon's apprentice. He loses his right arm in an accident while making a sword. Probably quite a standard thing. Amon decides to take the sword called Shiryu, which is a sword with demonic powers, that has been passed down for generations, and fashion it into an artificial arm for Guy. That was the beginning of it all.
All I know, it was pretty impressive that he could bash the sword into a movable arm that works. It was really good.
That was the height of it. So yeah, the story of this boy who has become one with a demonic weapon is drawn to a cruel fate in which he must face countless battles, of course, can be seen as either the story of a beautiful weapon and an ugly person, or the cruelty of weapons and the beauty of humans. Basically, it can't make its mind up, and it doesn't know what it wants to be. Is probably the best way to see it. Apparently this is a completely new world of comic noir. This is a Netflix anime, I believe, and
based on a manga.
Yeah, it is based on a manga, but they've done the adaptation, and that's been hit and miss so far. I think we found, and this is a lot closer to the miss pile. Let's be honest. So
I also want to clarify that for the listeners who aren't familiar, Gai, his name is spelled Gai, not like oh, you're a guy, G-U-Y.
Yeah, no,
Look, that's Sword Guy.
Oh, that's Sword Guy.
Yeah, you know that sword guy. Yeah, which guy? That guy.
Which guy are you talking about?
Not my guy, Sword Guy.
Sword guy.
Sword Guy.
That guy? I know that guy.
Damn it, Ernest, you ruined my joke now. Come on. That's not fair.
Sorry.
See the mighty Sword Guy.
Who?
Oh, not that again. Stop. So, let's go with Tim to start this one off. Tim, what did you think of Sword Guy?
Now we can't stop laughing. He's a pretty good guy.
What that sword guy?
Hey, what kind of guy are you? A sword guy.
Hey, guy. I'm not your guy, buddy. I'm not your buddy, pal. I'm not your pal, buddy.
I'm not your sword guy.
Yeah, the long and short of it is definitely not my sword guy.
Not your kind of guy.
Nah. I don't know. It's one of those many anime that spends a lot of time like exposing its information, which is why they call it exposition. But it's like, this is a riveting moment, but hang on. You need a bunch of backstory to understand what we're saying right now.
So a lot of telling, not enough showing.
Yeah, it's like the narrative version of getting down on one knee to propose and then saying, hang on, I forgot my fucking mixtape with the best love song on it. I'll be back in 25 minutes.
I don't know. I think it's worse than that. I think it's worse than that. Like, it's one of those whimsical things. Like, you see somebody proposing at, a restaurant out on a patio or somewhere, and he's down on his knee, and she goes, hold on. So you guys understand. We met here, we did this, like, we've been together. Our first kiss was here. He first disappointed me sexually when we were here in this age. And that's the kind of exposition that completely ruins the flow of the moment, and this anime is rampant in it.
I so want that to be a sketch now. Anime exposition proposal. That's just
brilliant.
I've done a thing. Thank you, Benadryl.
Sponsored by Benadryl.
And I also want to say this because I wasn't able to get to the halfway point, which is what we're supposed to be doing. So I'm not going to give it a score. I'm not going to go much further than that. But I did get to like episode 5, and it was just one of those things. Like, I've seen this before. In every episode, I'm thinking, man, just stop. You know where this is going. Just stop. I'm like, no, I gotta get halfway, and then I almost gagged. No, I didn't, but I almost gagged. So I just kind of.
Tim doesn't have a gag reflex. For those of you that don't know,
Chris helped me find that out.
I did. It's great. No,
not with Chris.
Shaft, everything.
Yeah, Chris is kind of.
Well, with this anime, I did feel like I got the shaft.
Accuracy.
No, wait. I want to hear though, because Fonzie spoke so highly of it. What drew you to it, Alphonse? Like, I want to hear what made you like this anime so much. Because I don't just want us to sit here and shit on it without your input on what you enjoyed about it.
Alphonse Elric.
I was mistaken. I was wrong.
Put it on a t-shirt.
The only reason I recommended the anime was because my brother recommended it for me, since I recommended Guy, Gas for him, and he wanted some deal, like the deal that I did with him before when he lost Gas Pay for my, collector's editions. So yeah, that was the only reason I recommended it. I trust him, and I was wrong, but I wanted to finish it because, just to see if it got any better, down the, further down the episodes, and no, it didn't. I feel it's incomplete. It's an interesting take in terms of demonic weapons and it possessed people. Like, we've seen talk of anime like that before, but different take with weapons. No, it's missing. It's missing a lot. I don't like Guy. I feel he's undeveloped. He's based on what they're saying, that he's still holding on to darkness in his heart and he has to let it go. I'm like, oh my, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, this dude, like,
yeah, like, he's pissed because his mom got killed when he was an infant. How is that her fault?
She killed herself. She committed suicide.
Well, still.
Yeah, and then he get mad, and then he wants to kill her. He wish he was alive so he could kill her. So, like, what kind of shit is this?
Like, there's no point to his rage. Like, why does he want her back to kill her?
It's a fucking Evanescence song in
human form.
All we said is this is the Evanescence anime.
I don't remember the girl's name, but you see that she likes him and she wants to help him, but he keep pushing her away like she's nothing, like she doing, just like, come on. And then that's what Mira was telling him, like, you won't get stronger unless you have something to protect. And he's being a dick. He's being a dick, basically. So there are other, they call them catalysts when
chrysalists.
Chrysalists, yeah, they call them chrysalists when they're possessed, meaning that they're still human, they still have their free will, but they can still control whatever object they have. The more they use it, they become personas, which they lose all their free will, they're not human anymore, and they just go after for blood. That's basically what the whole show is about, just killing blood, which is interesting, and I didn't like that it ended on a cliffhanger. I hate that. I hated that so much because we finally saw a guy in his full persona mode, but you didn't see it fully. It was covered like in a shadow, and then he went back to human form. What I also didn't like is that the head of the persona, the one that looked like a Reaper, I'm disappointed that he's like the big boss, where you had the devil trapped in one of the swords. I thought you would put the devil as the big boss. Like, that was very confusing for me. So yeah, me and my brother will have a talk after we finish this podcast. Because I'm disappointed. I'm totally disappointed.
And we'll get a new story for next week from you too, apparently, after. So sweet.
That sounds good.
I don't want this to be a 5-on-1 with your brother.
Do you think? Wait, hold on. My brother is more violent than me, so I might not come out of this call.
Well, then in that case, then be careful what you say, and best of luck to you.
Yeah, I won't have Shannon here because he's afraid of Shannon, so I'll be alright.
There you go. Well,
yeah, that's my take on that. Yeah.
Well, all right then. Yeah. I thought that you were like almost finished with it last week, and you're like, guys, the show's awesome. Go watch it. We're like, okay, because I was
in terms of demonic swords and possession, but in terms of story-wise, like this shit is boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like that part when Guy was afraid what he was becoming, and then he reverted his mind back to a child. I'm like, come on, we gotta waste 2.5 episodes when you act like a child.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't like that either. It was. For me, it was this. It just became another and I think I'm starting to turn into Garri here. I've seen all of this. I've seen all of this before. It's like Netflix's attempt at doing like a Hunter x Hunter or a Dragon Ball or like the other one I watched that was a little better than this called Taboo Tattoo that Garri recommended to me. It's the same thing, and Netflix just didn't really do anything to innovate on that formula at all. So it's not interesting. The characters aren't interesting, and then they just kind of throw a curveball at you of emotion, but you can't really care about it because you don't care about the characters yet at all. So I just think that they're falling really short of any sort of a good shonen mark with this, because I just didn't develop any attachment to any of these people, even the blonde dude who I was supposed to feel sad about. It was just more. It wasn't comfortable when they. Instead of being a big emotional moment, it was just uncomfortable and sad. When you kind of see how his girlfriend is aging and all that. I didn't like. It was supposed to be about Guy, but Garri actually put it great. We don't see anything about him. Like, it's Sword Guy, but we get 2 episodes of him being a baby, and then we get 2 more episodes of him being a baby, and yeah, overall I was
literally or figuratively.
Yes. That is. We get the first episode of him being a baby, and then he regresses, and we get 2 more episodes of him being a baby. So yes.
His character kind of sucks.
Kind of is nice.
And I'm trying to be nice. Kind of nice. I do enjoy the story of the weapons, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
That part is good. I like the story of how the Shiryu blades come into being. And for those of you who watched the entire season, you guys know there are 2 blades. There was the high quality Shiryu blade, and then there was the lesser Shiryu blade. And
so what you're saying is they failed the crafting when they made it the first time?
It was just an NQ.
Yeah, they just made an old for me.
That's actually a normal thing in ancient Japanese sword making, where they would make multiple copies of a blade like that. One of lower quality, as like the first one, and then the higher quality one that will go to the client. A lot of times it'll be like a shogun or somebody high ranking like that. And that was a similar thing what happened here. The higher quality Shiryu blade was used to kill the family that had basically slaughtered his family, and then the lesser quality one was the one that he used to kill himself.
The dragon baby that was born of sin and became a great swordsmith.
Yes.
We get backstory too.
I like that backstory, though.
Yeah, it was good. Why was that so good in this otherwise big it's like you're at a bar and there was a big fight and there's just blood and feces and just everything all over the place, and you bend down and find a gold tooth and you're like, oh, cool. Well, I guess this is actually a cool night, after all. But that was literally the only great thing about the anime. The rest of it was just duty.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But you didn't like that these demonically possessed swords ended up turning a lot of the people that they possessed into these giant robot thingies? Well, massive giant, but
the 3D, the Gundams didn't bother me all that much. But then again, I absolutely loved Ajin and Appleseed. So when it comes to like 3D in anime, if it's well done, I can give it a pass. I thought the persona looked pretty cool. But it really fell short because the action scenes also kind of just sucked. It was all one punch and then they're dead, but without any of the wit or the cool animation. It was just
there was just no rhyme or reason to it. It just was.
Yeah.
It's like every other 6 out of 10 TV show that copies something else does that you get. And it was the anime version of that, really. it has a nice idea, but that nice idea is not going to fuel it long enough for it to be an interesting, ongoing series. You know.
Though there is the part 2 is coming out soon.
Yes, I saw that somehow, miraculously, there is a part 2. But, you know, Netflix money, I suppose.
Maybe they use the Netflix money from this last one to hire some better writers. Probably not.
I mean, that again feeds into the Netflix model of sometimes it hits gold.
I don't think it was all the writing. I thought the animation was pretty bad too for most of it.
Yeah,
like we said, like the fight scenes were trash. Even the final fight scene, like, for those of us who got there, it was so anticlimactically boring that and the two guys who fought in that fight, you were like, why are these two guys fighting when it's clearly more of a story about this other guy? And the one I'm talking about is the blonde guy with the rings.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I still don't even know what the fuck his weapon is. Like, what was it?
It's a chakra.
It looked like a crown. It looked like a crown to me when they showed his backstory.
It was God's chakra, isn't it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be God's chakra, basically. Think Xena, warrior princess, Gary.
Yeah, but these are ancient Indian weapons, I believe.
The problem I find is that it's a series knowing it's going to get a second season. You know, it just, even the way it ends, it's just so. If you ended that in any normal way, you'd be punted into the sun for ending. So,
there's just so much random shit that didn't make any sense. Like the crazy otaku girl with the sword. Like, what was her deal in the whole show? Like, she was just there.
That's what I mean. Half of this stuff, I think, is obviously leading to something they want to tell later on. But this is it. Because they've got the confidence that, they'll greenlight a second series. No problem. We'll just carry on. And as a result, they're not building properly. They're just going, yeah, well, this stuff that's coming. People who've read it know it's coming, so it doesn't matter. We'll just go. And, yeah, it leads to a very cold watch for anyone who doesn't have that background knowledge, which is disgustingly so. And
it's just a lot of it was just so random. Like, I mentioned that girl, and then you had that one whole episode about some fat rich woman and a hairstylist. I was like, what is this episode about? Like, what the hell is going on here? Like, it's just random, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the whole show. Like, yeah, it had a weapon in it, sure, but overall story, like, it has nothing to do with anything that's happening.
See, that's what I'm saying. At least the last one with Fate, I liked a couple of the characters. Like, I still thought the characters were good. This one has no redeeming characters except maybe a little bit of the blonde guy, but even his was just I wasn't interested in anything about anything of this. It was just...
That's it, and you know, your protagonist, even if he's not the star of the show, should be at least interesting in some way, shape or form. Here he's just like, you know, he's a wet fart of a character. He just doesn't...
He's just depressing.
Yeah, it's just nothing to invest in at all. It's just there. He is just something to channel the story through, and the story isn't great to begin with. So it's he's just there. He's cardboard. That's it. He is just beige cardboard.
Yeah, it's just I couldn't understand most of that show, like at all. Like, I couldn't connect the dots. I didn't know where it was going. Like there's some random... There's the fight where the blonde guy encounters Guy for the first time, right? And that one monk dude shows up and he's like, let's fight, because he can fight without the Soma. And I was like, this is going to be a cool fight. And then he just gets killed.
Yeah, there.
And he fight like some weird-ass shadow thing appears. I don't know where it came from. Who's controlling it? What is it there for? What the hell is it?
It's the persona he was chasing.
I was like, is that Guy's persona? Can he control it outside of his body? I didn't understand it. Like, what the hell? and then he just magically reverts back to being a child again. I was like, okay, I guess that's the cure. I mean, you'll watch somebody die in front of you again.
All I know is I keep hearing Persona, and I think I really would like that more.
Yeah, I definitely would have preferred watching that, given the choice. There's no doubt. Any other words on it from anyone who hasn't had a chance to speak about it?
No, I'm good.
That sounds about right.
I can't remember anything about the anime. I like the last one, which I watched all of it. I've watched some of this today, and I can't remember a single thing that happened.
I think with last week's being such a struggle, but it was decent enough, but not great. And then this just being not doing nothing on any single level.
It was bad everything.
So I chose to go for something different and watch something with another possessed hand, and that was the Ash vs. Evil Dead. So I watched that instead halfway through. And I was far happier for that.
Yeah, I started watching episodes of Doctor Who because I remember it on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't hold the attention. Didn't see it going anywhere. I came back to it to finish it, and it's just like I could have just not really. It's like, but I thought maybe at least I'll have some sort of ending to talk about. It didn't.
Why is it anime and Netflix and not having actual endings?
I mean, that's what I mean. It's the arrogance.
It's because they know they're going to give it a second season. They actually just planned ahead. So that's how they end it.
Netflix does a weird thing where they'll split the season into 2 half seasons, basically. So we I mean, it's standard now, but that's what Netflix has been doing with their... Because they did the same thing with Little Witch Academia. And that was the one that first really confused me, because I watched the first 13, and I'm like, okay, so what's going on? And then actually the next 13 that they called the second season was basically the second half of the first season's story. So Netflix likes to do that.
Yeah, but even then, if anime has that, even in an anime that has a complete season, and they have that mid-season... It's almost like a mid-season finale. And it has some drama to it, some sort of heightened emotion, something to hook you in for the second half, even if you're going to watch that episode in 2 seconds. It's there. Here, knowing that it's not going to be on for a few months at least, they still do this, and they give you a fucking bread sandwich. It's nothing. It's just plain. Plain fucking nothing.
To be fair, My Hero Academia just did that because their technically like mid-season finale was just like the Happy-Go-Lucky Dorms episode.
Yeah, but
they knew there was only going to be 1 week between, so they didn't have to, worry about it.
As you guys say, they've earned that, right?
Yeah,
true. Very true.
They've done the groundwork to get to that point. Here, none of that groundwork's done. It's a mess. They're just trying to hit certain points and going, we'll do that bit. We'll do that bit. Order? No, fuck order. We'll just do this. Sellotape the shit together and damn the ending to heaven and hell. It's a very American way of doing anime. And I think that's what hurts it.
It is. And to mirror what you were kind of saying is you look at their 2D anime, right? And then you look at their 3D one, like Ajin and Knights of Sidonia, Blame. The difference there is they have the same studio working on those, a very critically acclaimed studio, whether you like the 3D or not. They've won awards for everything that they've done.
Well deserved, in my opinion. I used to do that, so I know how fucked up it is.
And they're doing Godzilla, which is right. The first one, from what I hear, was kind of hit and miss. I don't know about the second episode yet. It's supposed to be a trilogy, but that seems to be working for them. Whereas their 2D
Godzilla versus Bakugan.
But their 2D stuff is like an anime I probably would have watched in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Not what should be happening now.
And even then, I could think more fondly on some of them than I do this. And it's not just the passage of time. It's that this is an attempt at anime. It's not. It doesn't have the understanding. I think that's the main problem. Even the worst Japanese ones will have at least an understanding of what they're doing. This just feels like, this looks cool, let's do it. With that premise, and that concept, this should have been a lot better. Simply put.
Yeah, and if you even look at the studio that's behind it, Production IG, when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, this is probably going to be good. They did fucking Ghost in the Shell, Psycho-Pass, so many good ones. And Fooey Cooey, they're doing the new Fooey Cooey. And to get this, it's like...
They got their C team working on this.
It has to, because this is. I think Production IG is a great company. They did Standalone Comics is one of the best Ghost in the Shell stories, in my opinion, to this day.
This is bill paying work, you know. This isn't passion project.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And also there's like I'm looking at production. There's three studios total. So Production IG is just one of three. So that's probably like CT Production IG, and then like it's only 1/3 of, not proportionally, but this
is it. That nails it straight away.
It kind of just like got a hodgepodge. Three different.
Very.
So what are you saying is the Ubisoft of anime?
They did the anime sequence in Kill Bill Volume 1. That was pretty badass.
That is good. That was an awesome. See, why couldn't they have done the same thing with this? Oh wait, different team. Never mind.
It's not even the B team, dude. This is the C team.
Yeah, I think.
So, ratings of this series. I'll go first since I recommend it. I'm going to give mine a 10. Mine is 9. So my answer is 1.
1 out of 10. Damn.
1 out of 10 just because of the demonic weapons. That's the only reason it is even getting a score. That's it.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's go, Garri.
I probably have to give it a 2. And the only reason I'll give it a 2 is because I thought the actual dub was decent. And the supposedly main bad guy is one of my favorite bad guy voice actors. So
fair enough.
I've heard him in plenty of things. I don't know his name, but I've heard him in a lot of stuff. So
yeah, he is very
I'll go with a 3. Just it wasn't awful. It's just annoying. You know that it could have been so much more and easily given the time, given some love. Given a bit of passion, you know, it just, it was try toast. So, Tim,
is he asking 4? Because look, 1, 2, 3, go in order.
I had the number in my head already, so I had no idea what anyone else would say. There, go on, Tim.
I don't know what I watched. I think the fact that I didn't finish it lowers the score, but it's not a complete review, so I'm going to give it something like a 2. Because, like you guys mentioned, there is some intrigue in the backstory, but when you make something just for the backstory, you're not really putting anything into it, and they definitely showed that.
Very true. Klaus.
I was going to say probably about a 3.5, 3.5 for me. Like I said, I like the story of the weapons themselves, and that's probably the biggest saving grace for it. I probably will watch season 2 when it comes out, just because I want to get some closure to the whole thing.
Sure.
And also, Gary, the name of the person you're trying to think of is Patrick Sykes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Did you look him up, or did you just?
I looked him up. because he has done a lot of really cool things. Like he was the voice of Zaraki Kenpachi and Ichigo's dad in Bleach. Amazing voice actor.
He has a very distinct voice, so it's very instantly recognizable. Like Christopher Sabat, instantly recognizable voice.
Colleen Quinkenberg.
Steve Blum.
Steve Blum. Oh yeah,
all the time. Ernest, did you watch it?
I did not watch it.
Okay. Who's that lead? Chris?
Lucky you.
Yeah. I think 2 out of 10 is pretty respectable because I did like I agree with Klaus and Alphonse, like the demon swords, the backstories, like they could have just done an entire series like kind of like Mushishi, just going into like the backstories of these swords, and that would have been far more interesting than anything else they did. Plus that little skit when they're explaining the origins of the Shiryu was really nice too. So I think a point for each for that, but the rest was just garbage.
Cool. That leaves Ben, I think.
1.5. And that was being generous.
Ben
On the half or the one?
The both.
The half.
Cool.
It was the first anime where I've not been able to watch all of it. Even the last one I watched to the end.
Same here.
I couldn't.
Yeah, as we said, doesn't really have that promise to it in the same way. So that's probably the lowest rated one we've done. I think we said that more than once so far. That's,
Don't worry, once we've got one that we can give 0, it'll finally be true.
Yeah, the only way is up, as they say.
I haven't. Wait, no.
Oh my god.
You just want to trigger all of us, don't you?
As ever, Garri was too quick to unload.
As always.
That's not the first time he's had that problem.
This is very true. I will admit that.
So on that, I assume it's your choice this week. Then is it, Garri?
No, there's 2 more. There's you, Tim, and Ben still left to choose.
Oh, okay. So that's fine. So one of us.
And I guess there's Ernest if he's planning to come back. I hope you come back, Ernest.
Yeah. I'm gonna chat.
We're gonna make sure you wake up at 5 a.m. Don't worry.
I don't know who wants to go then. I have
Neil,
nothing.
because I heard you want.
What?
You heard I want something?
You want.
I want not to pick something because I haven't got anything.
I think Tim should go. He's been itching to go for a week now.
Oh, Tim has something then. Yes, definitely.
I have 2, and one of them is one that I've been kind of holding off on all recommendations just because I don't know how well it would do in this group.
We're
If I'm being
honest.
honest.
What he's saying.
If I'm being honest, I don't know how well it would be received in this group.
Or he's mostly talking about me.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Everything revolves around you, Garri. See, now that you understand our plight, Klaus.
Am I wrong, Tim?
See, this is
You're
what
in
we
the group.
Sorry, go on, Tim.
I have a different suggestion that I think kind of fits into all of our preferences, but it's really not exactly the one I want to give.
Dude, give the one you want to give. I don't care if it doesn't fit perfectly. There's always things we can do
This
to
is your
make it fit better. This is your recommendation. So even if it doesn't fit, we will try to make it fit. And if it doesn't end up working out, then hey, we'll all do what we've been doing and just move on, and we'll see what else fits up there. You know?
You can't
Chris,
make a worse choice.
Chris, you had me at we'll make it fit.
We'll make it fit, Tim. I will help you make it fit. So let's just do it.
Okay. I would like to know if it's on the British side, of course. And Ernest, if you're interested, you might know about this one. It's called Violet Evergarden.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Tim, I think I talked about that series with you. So, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
It should. Yeah, I believe it is on the UK side.
Okay. It's definitely on the US Netflix.
It's in my watch list, Tim. I put it in there. I'm very curious about it. So sweet. I have another one that I can check out.
Yeah, it's been popping up in my recommendations as well.
Okay. I will show up and talk on that episode because I watched all of
Yes.
I have thoughts on the series.
Sweet.
Ahead of the curve.
And if it wasn't going to be that one, it was going to be Gurren Lagann.
Oh, I love that one.
Okay.
I can confirm Violet Evergarden is indeed on British Netflix.
Okay, I was pretty certain it was.
And then if it's not, it's on Violet Evergarden.
This looks familiar. I can't think why, but I think it's because I've seen it. But we'll see. Cool. Okay, so that is that. We are done. We are done, sons.
Hooray!
Hooray! And we managed to condense it to about 90 minutes. Good for us.
We packed a lot in there.
Oh yes, we did. Nothing could move. It's so tightly packed in there.
Yes. Just how we like it.
So, Ernest, as you are the returnee, any shout-outs, etc., you'd like to give at the end of this? Apart from run and escape.
No, not really. I mean, I guess there's a bunch of anime films coming out in theaters in Japan over the coming weeks, so I'm gonna try to see some of those and give my thoughts on that. So, some of the to name off a few, there's like the My Hero Academia movie. There's like Mirai no Mirai's Future. Which is Mamoru Hosoda film. You know, like Summer Wars, foreign movies.
Yes. Oh yeah, that I'm looking for.
All that. Yeah, that looks good. So yeah, I'm gonna try to see those.
I've been reading some from early screenings that My Hero Academia movie, people say is like one of the greatest anime movies ever.
I've heard, they screened it at Anime Expo and on Twitter, like the reception is like really good, like and specifically the fight scenes are supposed to be like amazingly animated. So
That's not the first Pokemon movie. Just saying.
No. I mean that is one of the anime film greats, right?
Right.
That's
that touched a generation. So.
Plus, it has to live up to your name now.
So what you're saying is All Might doesn't die and get turned to stone, and then everyone has to cry to bring him back.
Oh,
too soon, Ben.
If they parodied that, I would. Oh my god, I would be losing it.
What is wrong with you, Ben? It's Ben. That shit almost gave people like heart attacks at their age.
It's not as bad as when Optimus Prime died.
Oh my god, nobody cried.
Right.
That was horrendous.
Sorry, which time are we talking about?
I'm talking about the first movie.
I'd just say in general, he's died a lot.
Oh yeah, he's died a lot after the first movie, but the first movie was quite a shocker for people.
At which point you just think, how are you ever leader when you're always dying?
How is Goku the saver of Earth?
Yeah.
He's always dead.
How has Mark Wahlberg outlasted you in a film? That is the question you must ask yourself.
Because not everybody can be Marky Mark.
He has outrun the wind. That is how good Marky Mark is.
He's got the touch.
And at least 20 pumps, so.
Gary.
Talking of which, Gary, you want to get a few pumps out now and tell us your shouty out.
Shout out to Fonzie for always defending me. Thanks, Fonzie. You're the only one who loves me around here.
I love all y'all.
I think it should just be me at this point, because look at these guys. Look how they treat me. Soon they'll turn on you. They will turn on you. I thought they were my friends, too.
I will never turn on.
I'll never tell Fonzie.
True. I'll never turn on Fonzie.
Yeah, except for Ben. Ben is cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ernest for being on. I haven't heard Ernest's voice.
Oh.
Yeah, I missed that. It's been too long.
4 years.
It has been. I think it literally has been years since I've been on one of the podcasts. So,
At that point, I just
good to be back.
like mute or something. Man, I was like, damn.
He's
here, and I'm jealous that you're in Japan, even though I hear it's hot.
Even though it's so hot. Yeah.
Don't worry, it's like 100 degrees over here too. It's trash.
Global warming
doesn't exist according to some people.
Right. Even though it is literally, I think I saw it. It is the hottest. It's been some of the hottest temperatures of all time.
Yeah, we haven't had rain
across
for
the
3
world.
weeks. England. I haven't had rain for 3+ weeks now.
Wow.
It's like a bit. That's unusual to say the least.
We'd give you our rain if we could.
You would have had record floods.
Give me your moisture.
I'll take at least a 10-digit temperature drop from anybody.
But Garri, if they need help getting cool, you're the moist maker. So.
Wishes. Hey, name's been given. It's too late.
I love it.
It's been misinterpreted.
You gave Chris the bottom. Yeah.
That became misinterpreted, but that's a whole different problem.
Anyways, shout out to the other guys. Shout out to having me on, and I hope this anime is as good as the last one.
Wow. I guarantee it'll be better.
Garri, I feel like you should just not watch it because it's not going to be your.
Right,
Garri hates anime, so we already know what he's gonna say.
And video games.
What does that mean? Because there's both blood and death and destruction, so I won't like it?
Oh no, there's blood and death and destruction in it.
Some challenge.
Well, Gary's always recommending Black Bible, so we know what he wants in his anime.
It has a good story.
The anime equivalent of saying I read Playboy for the articles.
Hey, it has fantastic animation, so you can't deny
Yes, it does. It has great animation. Some of the best you'll ever see.
Meh.
It's very sensual. Yes.
Dear. Are you back with us, Ben? No, he's died. He's gone. He's lost.
He wouldn't bye.
There he is.
There he is. Are you back now, Ben? Okay, we'll assume he's not. Tim. Shout out.
Shout out to everybody, of course, for dealing with me. Shout out to Ernest. I always love talking to you. And I love any excuse to talk anime with you, too.
I love talking to you.
Wow.
I just blew a kiss, and people are looking around me. Blowing a kiss.
No, don't worry. I'm outside my porch looking for it. It's going to be a while.
Moist maketh the man.
It's a cheek seeker.
The moist maker will fulfill your wish.
I doubt that very much.
Garri, you've already fulfilled it more than you could imagine.
Alfonso.
Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Ernest for being on. It was nice hearing from you again. I appreciate these shout outs.
Hello.
Klaus.
Wait, did they see what I said in the chat, right? Yeah.
I've lost chat.
Yeah, I lost the call.
That's all right. I'm recording.
Okay. Cool.
So we're good.
All right.
You can carry recording anyway, and then if it minds shit, you can always patch
Oh, new Skype doesn't give me notification when somebody messages shit. Great. Thanks, Skype. You're the best.
Aren't they?
Skype sucks. Sorry.
Sorry, Klaus. Did you say done or you hadn't done?
No, I hadn't. I had not.
Alfonso wasn't done.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Alfonso.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Voices too many. Go
I'll
on.
warn you, my brother. You disappointed me with that stupid bullshit recommendation, and now blood will be shed.
Yes.
Shout out to Neil for being number one. But you're not going to stay at that spot for long. Because I have to please the champion. Change back to order because this is not right. So go back.
Shannon, check your man. Check him. Check him good.
Damn.
I think somebody's going to get electrocuted again. Way to go.
Oh boy. Sorry about
Nah, I can't go through that again.
Acupuncture needles this time.
Y'all just messed up. Y'all say it's wrong what she does to me, but then y'all encourage her to do more?
I have not encouraged her to do anything. Except put me at number one. I just want to be number one.
Relax you by giving you acupuncture.
All I want to say is tell her I said hello.
Futurama, nice reference.
I'm just enjoying the stories.
Yeah.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Sitting back here eating the popcorn, you know.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a good one to kick back and listen to. Ben. Oh, sorry, Klaus. Klaus, because I said Klaus first.
Well,
see, I'm jumping.
Damn it, Neil. Want to say shout out as well to I just totally spaced out on your name, man. I lost it here. It's all I see is the initials.
Ernest.
Ernest, sorry, man. You have to learn. I am terrible with names. Until I hear it about 27 million times. Anyway, Ernest, it was a pleasure to work with you on this episode. Thank you very much for joining us. Shout out to everybody who's listening out on the podcast. Hope you guys are enjoying this. And Garri, just for you, they just recently announced that the Cowboy Bebop movie is going to be coming to American cinemas next month.
You should not pay money to see that. It's trash.
Don't listen to Garri, people.
Actually, I haven't seen the movie. It might be better than the whole of the series. So.
Garri thinks that Bible Black.
Oh, by the way, we forgot to mention that Dragon Ball has 3 other movies coming out this year to cinemas in North America. They're re-releasing the Story of Bardock, the Fusion Reborn, and the Broly movie for cinemas.
The best movies, that's for sure.
Nice.
They literally picked the worst movie out of all of them.
What?
That's just because your butt's sore about Bardock.
So are you.
I'm indifferent, dude. Like, if it's not Dead Zone, I don't give a shit.
I like Bardock, so I'd like that movie.
Trash.
I just wish they'd had Gene.
Simmons?
No, Gene, as in Goku's mom.
Oh.
So, Ben.
Yeah?
As you're talking, continue talking and give praise to those around you.
Okay, I'd like to shout out to everyone that's here. Thank you for joining us for another podcast. It was amazing. Shout out to twitch.tv/Mountain Radio. Go check them out. Mountain Radio has recently reached $605 against Save Killing. Go check out twitch.tv/SeaHills the amazing Final Fantasy 14 podcast by RVMP. Go check out twitch.tv/EvolveMail, your girlfriend's favorite streamer. Go check out Phoenix Down Radio with Klaus, Luna, Sayer, and me at twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio, phoenixradio.com. We recently recorded the new Moogle Go Round Radio. Go check that out at twitch.tv/Moogle Go Around Radio, or you can find it at phoenixdownradio.com. I think that's everything.
As soon as Paul sends it to me, that is.
You like that, Ernest? It's like a symptoms include warning.
I was gonna say I felt like I was at an auction. I didn't know where I put in my bid.
Yeah, it's like Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man doing an auction, but for prescription drugs and their side effects.
Time for Wapner.
All while voicing a Micro Machines commercial.
Yes. Oh, yeah. There you go. That's not a bad one. That's not a bad one.
That's very quick.
Dysentery.
Well, you know, if you ever wish to record a side effects commercial, please contact me at Bagdasarov.
Is that everyone? Is everyone at their shoutings?
Please send any pictures of your infections to at Gaglaush. That's at GAGLAUSH. He would love to get your complaints and pictures of your diseased penises. Shout outs to friends, family, fans. Shout outs to you, Ernest. Great to finally hear your sexy voice. Shout out to Fonzie and his lovely girlfriend Shannon for all of the amazing stories they give us every week. I wish you guys all the best, and I'm eager to hear more about your amazing experiences you seem to have with everybody. Alfonso, you're one of those people that just has these wonderful events happen to them in their life. And it's great that you come on and share them with us. I really love your stories, man.
Wait, Chris. How is these wonderful events for me? I'm the one who ends up getting tortured.
Well, I know you may end up getting electrocuted here and there, or you might have to show your true rage side, that deep rage dwelling within to handle a situation. But let it never be said that your life lacks for substance. Because you got some good stuff going.
That is correct.
So basically,
And
what you're telling me is that my pain is Yari's pain.
No, not just your pain, your triumphs and your okay, yes, but Your triumphs are we feel a part of your life, and we want to share in your triumphs as well. So like when Shannon treated you to a full on smorgasbord of games and rewards, we all shared that, and it was special. I'm not trying to be facetious either. I'm not like no sarcasm here. I mean,
do y'all remember what else? Do y'all remember what y'all recommended for me to ask her besides what I asked her for?
I said to recommend saying hello. I think.
Yeah, and Neil, Garri, and you recommend how come you didn't ask for anal. Yeah, so
I didn't say anal.
Yes, you did.
Did I say that? I don't recall asking that. Was it me? Oh.
I only suggested needles for your eyes. I didn't say anything about anal.
I mean, is that the same thing?
Well, I mean, the different eye, a brown eye, but
yeah, and how many pricks you want in it?
I usually take 2 at least. So I don't know how much sugar you guys like with your coffee, but I like at least 2 or 3. So. Yeah, that's it for shouts for me.
Yeah, so on that note, we are done for another week. We will join you again next week for more anime talk and anime review and whatever the fuck that was for the last 10 minutes. Will probably be a large part of what we do. Until then, tatty bye.